recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to remind the panelists there's people on the West Coast who use natural gas and oil too, and we have refineries and make it sound like everything's east of the Mississippi or at the mouth of it. So we've got 5 refineries in Washington State alone, and in the last 2 years we've gone from 0 gallons of crude oil transported on the rail lines through Washington State to nearly 1 billion gallons. And at the same time, we've seen a decrease in crude oil by tanker by about the same amount. So it's almost a 1-for-1. And that same amount of time, the pipeline, crude oil from pipelines to the refineries has stayed about the same. So sort of seeing this replacement. As a result, and I've talked to several of you about this, as a result we've seen an increase in crude by rail and an increase in the community's knowledge of it and insistence that something be done about it to ensure safety. And so I have a couple of questions on that line. And the first is for Mr. Hamburger, and kind of how would you characterize this relationship between your capital investment and your maintenance and repair investment in safety? How do you talk about the return on investment from the safety investment that you make?
There is a direct correlation, and I'll be glad, I think it may actually be in my written testimony, of the amount of money spent and the accident rate. There's a direct correlation between a well-maintained railroad and a safe railroad. Now, it's not just the maintenance, it's also the training of the employees, but new equipment is safer. So that, and if you go back to the bad old days when we were owned, 25% of the track was owned by companies in bankruptcy, the Interstate Commerce Commission actually kept track of something called standing derailments. Deferred maintenance was the hallmark of the day. Deferred maintenance is a euphemism for not getting out and taking care of your railroad. We don't have deferred maintenance now. And so there's a direct correlation between that spending and safety.
Yeah, thanks. And Mr. Saxton, the discussion that Mr. DeFazio and others have brought up about the tank car design and such, obviously if you all are either building new tank cars, a tank car of the future, or retrofitting tank cars, that's putting people to work as well. People who aren't currently working today, I assume, and you have to hire up. In your opinion, can, on your side of the industry, ramp up fast enough to do retrofits and to build a tank car of the future to address concerns about a potential shortage of tank cars to move crude?
The short answer to that question is yes. Of course, what you're alluding to is the fact that the PHMSA document or proposal has certain dates by which events have to occur, and they are aggressive, but we believe they are doable.
Why do you believe they're doable and some folks say they're not doable?
Well, for example, last year we built 4,000 tank cars. This year we'll be building 8,000 tank cars. That's a lot. That's a lot more to do. I have this deep abiding faith in the American economy, but I also believe if we set the bar low, we will not quickly do these things that we need to do to build safer tank cars. And I think it's really incumbent on us to do that because as a railroad person or in the industry, if we were to have additional derailments that caused more fatalities, I think we could lose our franchise, the trust that the American people put in us to do this. So I think it's really important for us to get on with it. Give us a bar, let us get over it.
Yeah, well, I think if we set it low enough, you'll be sure to hit it.
You have it.
Yeah, that's good enough for me. Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.